A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. And this is the sixth part of the chapter, Print Culture in the Modern World. So, till now we have discussed a lot of things in the previous 5 tutorials. And now this is the time for the sixth part of the tutorial. And we are going to learn about and discuss about the 19th century in Europe. What really happened there at that particular time. Let us see, the 19th century saw vast leaps in mass literacy. Means there was a increment in the literacy rate in Europe in the 19th century, and it brought large numbers of readers, and including children, women, and even workers also. They also could find out time and go through the books, read out the books, and get the new ideas also. So that was the beginning of, you can say, a beginning of a new era in Europe in this 19th century. So let us learn about the children, women, and workers. What were their conditions in those 19th century? Primary education just became compulsory for each and everyone in Europe. Primary education means children from primary level, that is from nursery, KG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will just have to learn. That was the compulsory thing. Children became an important category of readers also, because it was made compulsory that education should be uh, acquired by each and every child. So a new form of readers just came in front. Production of school textbooks also became very critical for the publishing industry, because it was the need of the time that the books should be published in sufficient quantity so that they can reach to the students and quench their thirst also. A children's press, especially a children's press devoted to literature for children alone, was set up in France in the year 1857 also. So my dear students, remember the name of the press. A children's press in France was started especially for the literature, so that they can develop literature, print the literature for the children alone. Means that press will only book prints for the children only. That was the main intention of the book, that particular place. This press published new works as well as old fairy tales as well as folk tales also. So the publisher was just giving them a lot of things to be published in that particular new children press. So old fairy tales as well as the new ones, and as well as folk tales also. It means the stories of the local people, local heroes, that was also included, and that was also printed in that particular children's press. The Grimm brothers in Germany, remember the name of the company. The Grimm brothers in Germany spent years compiling traditional folk tales which they gathered from the peasants. So they also collected, these Grimm brothers in Germany, that company also collected folk tales, that is the local stories or the histories or the stories of the local heroes. They used to collect those traditional stories, small tales, small stories from the peasants, and they used to publish for the children to attract the children towards the books. Now let us see what the women were doing. How were they attracted? Women also became an important part as readers as well as writers also. So women were not also lagging behind. They were good readers as well as they become the writers also. Penny magazines, means magazines which cost only one a penny, single penny, were especially meant for women, as well as manuals which teach proper behavior as well as housekeeping. So magazines for the women, even manuals, manuals, you know that how to lead your life or how to just operate some gadget. So the company used to issue or release some manuals also, how to operate that particular machine, or how can you behave in the life also. You can also have some schedule or the manual also. So those type of manuals were also just getting published out, which were teaching the women the proper behavior as well as how to keep the house in a well condition. So housekeeping materials were also available for the children and women. Women also were also very good novel readers also, as well as writers. So women were also reading novels and writing novels also. So women are really doing the work. Some women were Jane Austen, the Bronte sisters, George Eliot. So remember, try to remember the name. I can show you the images. Jane Austen, let us see her image. This is the woman, that's Jane Austen. And let me show you one more, the Bronte sister, the Bronte sisters. You can see their image also, Bronte sisters. So they were famous writers of that time. Even George Eliot, you can see. So these are the famous women of that time, those who were reading or writing also. They defined a new type of woman. So these women, they used to what to do. They used to shape the character of a woman, and they define new type of woman, a person with will, strength of personality, determination, and the most important, that women can think also, the power to think. They used to define women like this, that women can define, can think, and they have the power to think, and they can also have a strong personality also, and they can also live according to their will and determination. So they used to change the mind or the frame of mind or the thinking of the woman, other women also, by their good work or by their philosophy. Now let us say about the workers. What were their condition? What were they doing with the print technology? In 19th century, lending libraries. Now what is that lending libraries? These lending libraries used to lend the books. The libraries of Cambridge are lending libraries of that time. Means they were saying that he that is qualified, means who is able to read, they can borrow any type of book he or she wants. So they were just lending libraries, was helping the human being, so that they can helping the literate person also, you can say, that who can read, they can borrow any type of book from that lending library. Especially they played a major role in educating those white collar workers. Now who are these white collar workers? Let me show you. You can see over here, this white collar worker means those especially who used to work at offices and are not in the field. White collar workers are suit and tie workers who work at a desk, and stereotypically skew physical labor. They don't do physical labor, just they sit in office and operate the machines and do official work. But on the other hand, blue collar workers, they refer to workers who engage in hard manual labor, typically agriculture work, manufacturing work, construction work, mining work. So blue collar workers are hard working and they work on the field, but white collar workers are working in the offices. So especially it played a major role in educating those white collar workers, even artists and lower middle class people. So lending libraries were doing their a great job. Workers had some time for self-improvement as well as self-expression also, as the working day was shortened from the mid 19th century. Mid 19th century से क्या हुआ, working day को थोड़ा कम कर दिया गया, means 10 hours of working or 8 hours of working only, and in the rest of the time the workers can improve themselves, and they can also express themselves, express their views also in the form of writing and printing. So worker was getting chances. Self-educated working class people wrote for themselves. So those who were self-educated, those who were not employee of anyone, they were self-educated. Even they were not, they have not gone to school also. Self-educated means they just educated themselves. So those type of people, self-educated working class people, they started writing about themselves in the political areas as well as autobiographies in large number, because now they were having the invention of printing. So they started writing about their autobiographies about them also, and even they also started writing in the political areas. So these people just started taking part in the government affairs also, you can say, in the running of the government. Even we can see further innovations in printing press also. There were further innovations. And what were that new invention? Printing press machines were made of metals in the late 18th century. Now they started making printing press machines by using the metals, so that it cannot get damaged or it cannot get uh, that is in bad conditions. By mid 18th century, Richard M. Hoe of New York had perfected the power driven cylindrical press. Let me view that Richard M. Hoe. You can also watch him. This is the man. What he has done of New York, he perfected this power-driven cylindrical press. Once he perfected this system, that now there is no need of feeding the paper again and again. Now the paper can be fed automatically in the machine. So, and that is also power driven. No, now there is no use of manual hand labor, so that it is needed to feed the paper again and again by manually. It is power driven, means now you can use power to just roll down that particular cylinder press, which will just feed the paper and print out and print the things easily, which was capable of printing 8,000 sheets per hour. If you could remember that in the beginning there was a speed of 250 sheets per hour, and with the invention of that Johannes Gutenberg printing press, now there is a great invention. You can see 8,000 sheets per hour. So it just increased the speed a lot of times. 8,000 sheets per hour. Now it can be printed with this power driven cylindrical press. So please, we need to congratulate this man, Richard M. Ho of New York, that he perfected that system. And this press was particularly useful for printing newspapers. We have seen that new particular printing press. So it was quite useful for printing newspapers, as we need a lot of insufficient number newspaper. We need insufficient a large number. So this particular press can really feed the purpose and do the purpose of that particular time, because it is printing 8,000 sheets per hour. And in the late 18th century, the offset press was developed. Now, what is that offset press? Let me show you. By clicking on that, let me show you that offset press also, my dear students. Offset press is a commonly used printing technique in which the inked image is transferred from a plate to a rubber blanket. So now there is a use of rubber blanket, and which will just transfer the ink image to the rubber blanket, and it will just print on the surface. So now we can have different colors also. It is used in combination with lithographic process, which is based on the repulsion of oil and water. The offset techniques employs a flat image carrier. Means once if you have an image, you can print that image a lot of times, hundreds of thousands of times with ease. And it can, you can see over here, which could print up to 6 colors at a time, that offset press. So that was another great invention. Now the people can use colors also, 6 colors at a time with the printing press. Previously, they were just using colors by manual, by hand. Now the printing press can do that work. Now, from the turn of the 20th century, electrically operated presses also came up. Printing operation, यानी अब इलेक्ट्रिक से चलने वाले मशीन भी आ चुके थे. Now you can see this one. Electrically, it can now print. Now it will also increase the speed. Even methods of feeding paper also improved, है ना, पेपर डालने का मशीन में वो भी मेथड जो है वो भी improve किया. And the quality of plates also became very better. Automatic paper reels, you can see over here, automatic paper reels. You can see the paper will be fed to the printing machine automatically with this one. That is one of the really very tedious job in printing, to feed the paper again and again. So this type of technique can really reduce the working hour, reduce the labor also, and even reduce the cost of the printing books or pages also. So automatic paper reels and photoelectric controls of the color register were introduced in the later on in the 20th century. And even printers and publishers continuously develop new strategies to sell their products. Printers and publishers, they will always look for new strategies, new plans, so that they can sell their product easily to the large number of people. So they were just continually making new strategies and plans. And in 1920s in England, popular works were sold in cheap series. Now they started making cheap series. Series means what? Means part 1, part 2, means they started printing novels and stories or magazines in the newspaper or in the novels or magazines in a series wise. That is known as the shilling series. That novels were serialized. Means if you will read the first part, then you will be eager to read the second part also, third and fourth and fifth and so on. So it started in England in the 1920s, and still we can see it is there in our society also, that we go through serials and many things which are in the part 1, part 2 and part 3. Likewise, I used to make videos also. Even the dust cover or the book jacket is also a 20th century innovation. Book jacket and the dust cover. Let me show you that dust cover है ना, ये आप देखेंगे बहुत importantly you will find it on the dictionaries and important books, that this type of dust cover also there, so that it can protect the books also. And even you can find book jacket like this in this 20th century book jacket. You will find this type of jacket for the books also, to keep it easily and visible to all everyone. So this is the invention in the 20th century. The Great Depression hit Europe in the 1930s. So everything was going on in a better way in 1920s, but in 1930s क्या होता है? Great Depression that hit Europe, and publishers were fearing that there will be a decline in the purchase of the books. Yes, if there is a depression, if there is a economically weak condition in a country, then who will purchase the books? So they were just fearing that there will be a decline in the book purchases. So they were thinking of new ways to continue buying. They brought out what? Cheap paperback editions. तो उन लोग ने क्या किया? Book तो बेचना ही है. They have to sell the books. So they used cheap papers so that they can bring down the cost of the books or the newspaper or the magazines, so that even at particular depression, in the condition of Great Depression, people can still purchase books. So to bring down the cost of the book, they started using cheap papers. So that was all about from Europe. Now our next topic is from our own country, that is India and the world of the print. India also had a very rich and old tradition of handwritten manuscripts. Yes, India is not lagging behind. Our country is at the top. Our country is also having handwritten manuscripts in Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, as well as many vernacular or local languages. In the beginning, you can see manuscripts were copied on palm leaves or on handmade paper also. So सबसे पहले manuscripts को कहाँ लिखा जाता था? Palm leaves पर. Let me show you that palm leaf also. With the click of the link, let me show you that. Manuscripts were copied on palm leaves like this, you can see. Which language is it? Can you identify? But I can't identify. It's looking like Bengali, maybe. So in the beginning, they were using palm leaves to just write down the things which they want. Earlier people, manuscripts were highly expensive. Yes, that is the one of the disadvantage of the manuscript, that it was highly expensive as well as fragile. बहुत जल्दी damage हो जाते थे, टूट जाते थे, destroy हो जाते थे manuscripts. So that is one of the drawback of the manuscripts. They had to be handled very carefully, and they could not be read easily, as a script was written in different style, because everyone is writing in their own handwriting. So it was difficult to be understand or to be read easily by all. We know that we can't read doctor's handwriting because it is quite difficult for us. We can't identify the style of the writing of the doctors or engineers also. So that was one of the also drawback, that different style of writing cannot be understood or read easily by everyone. So it cannot be handled carefully also. So manuscripts were not widely used in everyday life early in the earlier days. Students very often did not read texts. क्या होता था? स्टूडेंट भी टेक्स्ट नहीं पढ़ पाते थे, because even it manuscripts were not available in large number also. It cannot be copied very easily, we know. So they only learn to write. तो स्टूडेंट क्या करते थे? वो सीखते थे, सिर्फ लिखना सीखते थे. They used to start writing, learning how to write the text, because reading the text was not available, as a sufficient number of books or textbooks were not available. Teachers used to dictate the portion of the text from memory, from their mind, from their brain, and students used to write them down in their palm leaves or stones or anywhere. So actually the culture was what of just writing and remembering all the things. The use of writing or the use of reading the things was not really very in a good number at that particular time. So many thus became literate without ever actually reading any kind of text. बहुत सारे तो ऐसे भी हैं जो पढ़े लिखे हो गए, है ना, लिटरेट बन गए, लेकिन उन्होंने कभी भी कोई टेक्स्ट को पढ़ा नहीं, because only their master, their teacher used to dictate and they used to write and they used to learn and remember everything. So they haven't read the books, but still they are educated. We can have a look at the pages of Diwan of Hafiz. We can have a look at the pages. Let us see. This is one of the page, my dear student. That is the one of Hafiz. That is written in Arabic language, and I can let you see that one of the pages from Rig Veda also. The pages from Rig Veda also you can see over here. So handwritten manuscripts continued to be produced in India till much after the coming of print. Print के आने के बाद भी इंडिया में manuscripts चलता रहा. This manuscripts was produced in the 18th century in the Malayalam script. है ना, ये कौन सी script है? Malayalam script में use किया गया चीज़ है ये. Okay, that is all up to here. Let us move away to our next topic, that print, how print came to India. The printing press first came to Goa. Oh my God, one of the smallest city of India, and printing press started there. That is quite easy to remember, that the first printing press came to Goa with Portuguese missionaries. And when in the mid 16th century में Portuguese missionaries ने print को इंडिया में लाया, पहला printing press start हुआ. And by 1674 about 50 books had been printed in Konkani and Kannada languages. Remember the name, my dear students, Konkani and Kannada languages. 50 book published किए गए around in the year 1674. Catholic priest also started printing the first Tamil book in 1579 at Cochin. Remember the name, the first Tamil book in 1579 at Cochin. And in 1713, the first Malayalam book was printed by them. So Catholic priests जो है, that they were also printing their religious book in the Tamil language, in Malayalam language, and in Tamil language, Tamil book was printed in 1579, and in Malayalam language, the first Malayalam book was printed in the year 1713. By 1710, Dutch Protestant missionaries. Protestant means those who protest. We have learned a lot about Martin Luther and his team. So Dutch Protestant missionaries had printed 32 Tamil texts by 1710, and many of them translation of older works also. बहुत सारे उन्होंने translation भी किया. So 32 Tamil texts they have printed, Dutch Protestant missionaries by 1710. So by the end of 18th century, Indian newspaper began publishing, and Bengal Gazette was the first one published by Gangadhar Bhattacharya, who was very close to Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So Indian newspaper भी publish होना शुरू हो गया by the end of the 18th century. And Bengal Gazette was the first Indian newspaper which was published by Gangadhar Bhattacharya, and who was a close friend of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. तो याद रखना हमारे स्टूडेंट्स अच्छे तरीके से, द फर्स्ट न्यूज़पेपर ऑफ इंडिया दैट इज बंगाल गैजेट एंड पब्लिश्ड बाय गंगाधर भट्टाचार्य. फ्रॉम 1780 जेम्स ऑगस्टस हिकी, अ प्राइवेट इंग्लिश एंटरप्राइज है ना, प्राइवेट इंग्लिश एंटरप्राइज है वो, प्राइवेट कंपनी के है ना एंटरप्रेन्योर है. ही बिगैन टू एडिट द बंगाल गैजेट, तो उनको ये बंगाल गैजेट को एडिट करने का काम, यानी एडिटर बन गए वो. दैट वाज अ वीकली मैगजीन है ना, ये डेली न्यूज़पेपर नहीं था, ये क्या था, वीकली मैगजीन था. उसके एडिटर ये बने गए जेम्स ऑगस्टस हिकी. लेट अस सी द मैन जेम्स ऑगस्टस हिकी, and he just became the editor of this Bengal Gazette. That is one of the image you can see over here. He keeps Bengal Gazette of the original, and you can see the date, Saturday March 3rd to Saturday March 19th or 9th it is. So that is a weekly one. You can see weekly, you can see weekly something is written, and Calcutta General Identifier, Hickey's Bengal Gazette, that was one of the thing was printed, and this is number 7, volume number 7 I think. So that was the thing, and he became the editor, and Hickey published a lot of advertisements, including those that related to the import and sale of slaves. Now that was a worry, because he was publishing advertisement, that is okay, but he included the things about the import and sale of slaves in India also. So let us see what happened to him. He also published a lot of gossip about the company's senior officials in India. Company के officials जो भी बात करते थे आपस में है ना, or whatever the message that he was getting Hickey from his sources, he was publishing that also. So Governor General Warren Hastings harassed Hickey. Warren Hastings ने परेशान किया Hickey को कि ये आप gossips हमारे news, why are you publishing that? So Warren Hastings, he was a English statesman, was the first governor of presidency of Fort William and the head of the Supreme Council of Bengal. That is the detail of Warren Hastings. So he harassed Hickey, and even he encouraged publication that would increase the image of the colonial government. So he was encouraging those people to publish about the things about such things which can increase the image of the government. जो गवर्नमेंट के हक में हो वैसा वो इंक्रीज करते थे, encourage करते थे publications को कि ऐसा कुछ आप लोग print out करें. But he was harassing Warren Hickey because he was just disclosing all the news and gossips of the government officials, company seniors officials. So now it's time about religious reform and public debates that we will continue in our next class, my dear students. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon also. Don't forget to comment and share with your friends also. That's all. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care, my dear students.